Hi guys, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a little bit of a different video for you guys. So I usually do DIY projects, but today I'm going to show you guys my tips on starting a YouTube channel because you guys thought it would be a great idea to do one of those videos. So I have my notebook here full of all of these ideas for you guys and tips, so I'm just going to go through them. So the first thing I wanted to discuss was more of like the mental things or random things for starting your YouTube channel, and then I'm gonna go into like more physical, like making your video things. And before I really start, I wanted to say that a lot of YouTubers, when they make these videos, say that they don't consider them successful in any way, which I personally disagree with, because when you're starting a channel, the definition of successful doesn't really like have anything to do with the number of subscribers or views that you have. So for me, I do consider myself successful because I'm really happy with the way my videos turn out, and I really enjoy, having you guys, comment on them and like discussing things with you, and I think it's really, really fun. So that leads me into my next point, which is that subscribers really don't matter, and while that sounds really bad, you watching this video means a lot to me, but the subscriber who is just another number on the list doesn't really mean that much because I'm not really interested in the actual number as a YouTuber. I think I'm more interested in communicating with you guys and talking with you about different things that I've mentioned in my videos. So I think that's really important so that you're not obsessed with the number. And I think when a lot of people become obsessed with the number, then they start to do things like spamming other channels. So spamming is one of those things that really annoys me because the comment section is there for people to discuss the video and to ask questions and to get feedback from other people. It's not to promote your own channel. And while you may think it will get you more subscribers, it's not really going to get you those loyal subscribers who had the whole experience of finding your channel. So I think it's definitely not going to get you where you would be without spamming channels. Plus, if you do spam channels, then for everyone else that sees that, it shows that you don't really appreciate the content that people worked really hard for, and you're more interested in your own thing. So the other types of comments that you will get that are probably not the best are hate comments. And these are really annoying because they're absolutely inevitable on YouTube. You could be the nicest person with the nicest content and have really good editing and have great lighting and quality, and people will still not like it. It's just one of those things. So I don't think you should take hate comments personally. When I see them, I respond with like a super nice message and just let everybody know that it's not getting to me. So for me, if I see a hate comment, I realize that they really don't care about my feelings. So I'm not going to care about their feelings and their opinion too much because it's not something you should really worry about when you're starting your channel. And if that's something that scares you, I think you should definitely set that aside because that's one of the very few bad things about joining YouTube. So one of the simple things you can do when you're starting off your channel is to just be proud of your videos. And this is really simple, but it's so important because if you're super excited to share your content with everybody and you think that they're really gonna enjoy it, that motivates you to make more videos and to keep going. And I think that's really important to constantly be excited about YouTube, because I find if there's projects that I really am not like super into, the video then doesn't turn out so great, as opposed to videos where I've been super excited to like make them and film them and like edit them really well. So one of the things I did when I was starting was I took a video or a few videos that I really liked from other YouTubers and I kind of broke them down into separate pieces. So in my videos, you'll notice I have like a creative intro, and then I welcome you guys to my channel. Then I have the actual content and then an outro. And then I have more of my creative outro where it says my name and then it says another video for you guys to watch and things like that. So I think it's really important because you can look at like really good, really well produced videos and be so overwhelmed, and I think it's really nice just to break everything down and make it easier to start off. Even when I started off on my channel, I didn't have all of those different sections. I think I just had my like welcome to you guys on my channel, and then I had the actual content. So even if you want to just start off like that, where you don't have completely the entire thing produced already, that would be perfectly fine, so you can kind of find your bearings before you start to move on. So this might be one of those things that's completely mental and it's all in my head, but for me, standing up while I talk makes the absolute world of a difference. Because I used to sit in my chair. I don't know if you can see it back there, you probably can't. But it's like a huge chair and I got like completely engulfed in it. and I don't know, that may be one of those mental things, but I think standing up I can move around and move my hands everywhere, and it allows me just to be me a little bit more, which may be pretty weird, but I think it works. So I think if you are more of a shy, quiet person, then this is definitely a good tip for you to kind of like show the viewers who you actually are. So there are some people on YouTube who try to copy other YouTubers, not necessarily by their videos completely. There are people who do that too, but other people try to copy their personality, and it's really not a good thing to do because it's not genuine of you as a person. And I think the reason why so many people are on YouTube is because you can connect to genuine people because they have the same problems as you, and they're not some like celebrity on TV or something where you cannot connect with them. So one of the most important things on YouTube is consistency. So you should have a fairly consistent upload schedule, a fairly consistent theme between your videos. And I think it's really important to understand consistency, but not limit that, because I know some people will do solely like DIYs or something on their channel like I did for a while, but now I'm starting to do more videos to interact with you guys, and I think you are really enjoying that. So I think it's really important to not limit yourself, but still understand what your channel is mainly about. But as long as you're producing quality videos and your subscribers can see that you put a lot of time and effort into that video, then it's perfectly fine to upload whenever you would like, as long as, you know, it's fairly consistent. YouTube is fairly difficult when you're starting out. I think a lot of people who are starting out like are expecting some, you know, golden rule that will help you, you know, throughout your YouTube career. And I think if I knew that, which would give you like millions of subscribers, I would tell you. But I think the main thing just to focus on is working really hard, and I know for a fact that I do that with my videos. There are some days like during the school year where I've waken up at like 4:30 to edit a video before school because I need to get these things done for you guys. So I think it's really important just to work really hard, and if you feel like you're putting up all your effort, then it's perfectly fine to do whatever you would like with your channel. So the titles are super important, but I'm not going to focus on that because that's just how people actually see your video in like the search box or whatever. But how people actually get to click on your video is through the thumbnails, because when you think about it, people read left to right. So when they see your video, the first thing they're going to be looking at is the thumbnail. And if you have some like gross dark video, something like this, people probably aren't going to click on it, because even if they did, I'm not sure it would be too helpful for them because they won't be able to understand the content. So attractive thumbnails are super important. For a while I used PicMonkey.com. It's super easy. What you want to do is go into collage, upload your photos, and then hit the little blue lock at the bottom, and then the file size is 1080 pixels by 720 pixels, and that will give you the perfect YouTube thumbnail size. Recently I've also been using Photoshop, but again, a lot of you probably aren't going to have access to that when you're first starting out. So I think it's like best to use PicMonkey.com, or you could also use another editor if you find one. So originally I also used PicMonkey for my banners. What I did was I took a screenshot of it, or you could also go to like the YouTube template thing that they give you, and you want to crop it down so it's just the banner, paint white over it, and then you can upload any pictures that you want or add any text. And recently I've also redid my banner, and I did it with Photoshop again, so it's a little bit better quality, I think. But overall, if you don't have access to it, PicMonkey is a great source for you guys. So if you don't know how digital cameras work, basically the ISO is like the light levels and how the camera adapts to it. The higher the ISO, the brighter it is, but it's also the more grainy the video is. So with low light levels, your camera's gonna have to adjust and give you really grainy footage to have like decent lighting. So you don't wanna have that happen at all, and you want studio lighting if you can get it, or natural lighting. I know a lot of people have been fine with natural lighting. My lighting though, in my room, there's a mountain on like both sides of my windows with tons of trees, so it's really not good for natural light, so I do have studio lighting. It was like $40 on Amazon, so it wasn't terrible. If you don't have enough money to afford studio lighting, I would definitely look into buying a white light bulb and trying to find some way, either if you use a sheet to cover it as a diffuser, and then you can have like bam, instant studio lighting for like basically nothing. But just make sure that when you do that, you're super careful, because I wouldn't want it to catch on fire and like burn down your room. So editing is super important. If you're doing a project, we don't really want to sit there for 20 minutes and like just watch you do it, because a lot of the things is repetitive, and I'm sure that's the same thing with a lot of other videos out there. So people don't really want to sit and watch the entire thing. They just want to watch a portion of it that they really need to actually get the idea and understand what's going on. So editing is super important there, and my editor is super good. I use Adobe Premiere Pro Creative Cloud CS6, I think. I may have butchered that like super bad, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So I really like this editor, but it's also super expensive. So if you guys can find something like Movie Maker, or I know a lot of Macs come with iMovie, but those are totally fine to use when you're starting out on YouTube, because people don't really need a super flashy video when you're starting out. I think it's important to understand that people are going to click on your video for the content, not for all of the flashy lights that are going around and the cool effects that you can add to it. If you can do that, that makes it so much more enjoyable, but as long as they can actually figure out what the content is, then you're doing a perfectly fine video. So when you're getting to the point in your channel where you think you should upgrade your quality, I would definitely look into getting a DSLR camera. And I know recently they have been making some digital cameras that actually produce like really good footage. So if you want to look into video for that, that is perfectly okay too. But I would recommend DSLR cameras. It's just what I have, and it works amazing for me, and I think the quality is so good. But when you're looking into it, you really want to find the right camera body and the right lens. I know so many people use the Canon T3i, T4i, T5i, and really I did my research, and the T3i is perfectly fine. I know a lot of other features that they are putting in the T4i and 5i don't really relate to video. If you are getting into this, I would definitely recommend looking into aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, and like the relationship between that, because that can either give you super bright grainy footage, or I mean, you really have to figure out what is exactly perfect for you. So looking into things like that may help you get the perfect blurry background. I don't really have it figured out, but I know for a fact that that is caused by the low f-stop. So basically, if you have an f-stop around 1.4 or 1.2, you'll be able to get that perfect background. But a lot of cameras come at more of like a 3 f-stop with the kit lens that comes with it. So with this camera, you can actually adjust the f-stop to get that perfect blurry background. My lens that came with the camera is not capable of doing that though, so basically if you get a better lens, it's like a $500 lens, but you will be able to get that really cool background, especially if you have lights behind you. So when you're starting out, it's really important to have good quality, but people are ultimately clicking on your videos because they want to know more about the content that you're sharing with them. So I think it's not something to be extremely worried about if you can't afford like a really good camera when you first start off. So for a while, I actually had a difficult time finding good royalty-free music. For a while, I was using music off of AudioPad because basically all you have to do using that, it's a YouTube channel, and you just have to link the artist and the track in the description, and they have downloads and everything for you guys. But that has mainly dubstep music, and it's actually really difficult to find royalty-free music that's not like hardcore dubstep. So I also found a channel called Monster Cat where you have to link the artist links in the description, and you have to name the artist and the track that you're using. So it isn't too much, but it is also dubstep, so you have to look through a few of their videos just to find good music for the background. A lot of YouTubers who are more popular on YouTube have really popular music in their videos, which is of course difficult to figure out how they actually did that, because YouTube has this whole, copyright infringement policy going on. So some networks are able to allow you to use some copyrighted songs in your videos, and of course that is completely up to the network that you're working with. But I know for a fact that that is how some people get those popular videos in their channels. So if you're looking to get more subscribers and more attention to your videos, then I think it's really important to do collaborations. And I think it's so important not to just blatantly give someone a shout out in return for like another shout out, because I know anymore that's really how some collaborations work. But it's really important that you tie your videos together somehow. So if someone is looking for one particular themed video, they may be more inclined to check out another similarly themed video if you're collaborating with someone in that way. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the relationship between making really popular videos and really creative videos. I know some channels do solely like DIY room decor videos because they're really popular on YouTube. They don't really do so many other creative videos. And I think your subscribers will also really appreciate more creative videos because they really don't want to see the same themed thing over and over and over again. But again, more popular videos will bring more people to your channel. So it's like a difficult thing to balance, but as long as you find something that works for you, then you're perfectly fine. I hope you guys enjoyed and found a lot of these tips really helpful, and if you did, I would really appreciate if you went down and gave a like on this video. So I think that's it for this video. If you have any more tips though, I would love for you guys to comment them in the comment section below. That way anyone else can just scroll through them and find additional tips if that's something they would like to do. So yeah, I think that's about it for this week's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I just stood here for a half hour talking about YouTube, so I hope you got something out of this video. But yeah, I think that's about it for this week's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So I will see you guys next week, and yeah, bye!